the most poignant picture of the president's visit. He was impressed. And let me tell you, whenever he's looking at that screen and sees that middle panel, it's not any of our competitors there, right? It's us. You know, for me, this defines our moment in the national limelight, in the eyes of the President of the United States. And what a wonderful man who, very bright, very warm. Everyone you talk to that had the fortunate experience to meet him, they'll all tell you it was sort of like a friend that you haven't seen in a long time showing up at Northern, wanting to see how things were going. So, let's talk a little bit about the President's visit. There is no question that the purpose and motivation was the technology, the fact that we rolled out our WiMax technology to bring high-speed wireless broadband to a very tough terrain. Lots of trees, lots of hills, lots of water, lots of granite. As I told the President, if it's going to work here, it'll work everywhere. And you saw that sort of reflected in his speech and compliments to Northern and to the community. For many of you that don't know, that WiMax is about 3 times faster than Wi-Fi, kind of in that speed. Okay, I mean, it really does allow you to have full motion video seamlessly. And that's why we wanted to hook up Big Bay schools, Nagani schools from Northern. The Big Bay schools, it was almost one of those Alexander Graham Bell moments, and that's how I described it to the President when I was with him. And he went, well, why is that? You know, what's so big about that? I said, Mr. President, we're beaming you and bouncing your signal off Granite Island to bounce it back into Big Bay, because it's the only way to get a signal there. And he went, oh, you're kidding. It's like Star Trek, right? He's a baby boomer, you could tell. But obviously, what you don't know is that we've been working on a project with some of our partners, Lenovo and Intel and Motorola. Lenovo has donated a number of computers to Big Bay and Nagani schools that are WiMax enabled. And so the kids, when they go to school part-time in Big Bay, and then they have to get on a bus and go to Nagani, okay, they're still hooked up to a wireless system. They're still doing homework on the bus. Okay, and I believe if you watch that 13-minute video with the President, he makes reference to the Star Trek, you know, kind of beaming him around kind of piece. So it went really well. It really was quite a pat on our backs to be able to demonstrate a new technology. And, you know, when the President looks at you and says, you know, and he's talking to me, right, Mr. President, which my ears never picked up. You know, Mr. President, you know, I need to have you help me do this across the country. And I said, well, you know, I'll get you there. We can do that. And then he turns to me and he says, well, that's why I'm here. You know, I want you to be in the lead helping us do this. So my fourth bullet there, in a lot of ways, we're under some interesting pressure to step up. You know, we need to talk about content on this network, the cooperative work with public and private partners, the schools, how do we use it? You know, it's part of the fire suppression system and fire trucks and police cars. You know, are there specific things that we could do there? Are there new kinds of programs and ideas, degree options that we can offer our students so that when they go out into the world, they know about WiMax and they know about how it works, and can it give them a competitive edge out in that marketplace? And it really is about expanding our influence and innovation wherever this technology goes. We have been asked to continue to work with the White House Technology Initiative, so it wasn't a one-stop deal, okay? And I know Cindy Pavla is here, and she kind of tightens up when I mention it, but it's likely that we might get another visit, you know, either from him or other VIPs who really have called in and said, we need to see this thing. You know, is it really that good? But Cindy's experienced now, right? She can handle these visits with 400 people at a time. So we have been told that the promotional value for us is in the $32 to $50 million range. You know, getting into the New York Times and the Post and across television, the CNN. I mean, it was just priceless exposure for us. So I hope you all felt really good about that. The President made reference to 6 guys in 4 days to set up the demonstration. I want to thank those 6 guys, but I also want to thank the hundreds of people who put aside their work for the week to make sure that our interactions with Secret Service and the White House made that visit a memorable one for the President, which it was, for all of his staff, which it was, the Secret Service, who you know, just praised us for just being so efficient, and all of you who just worked to make that event happen. We do have a continuing controversy about tickets. I can tell you a lot of stories about the 300-400 emails I've received. Keep in mind, you can help me in a way apologize, but in a way, the whole selection of the room, the number of invites, the format, that was all controlled by the White House. It's not unlike a wedding, where the wedding couple rents a room here on campus. I think it would be presumptuous of me to go up to that couple and say, I'd like to come and bring some of my friends, you know, to your wedding. And so it was kind of a tension-filled thing because the venue was so much smaller. But it did warm my heart when the President says, my priority is that the majority of the room be filled with students who are actively engaged in leadership activities. And we tried our best to fulfill that request to the President. But I think it was just a fabulous event for Northern.